Monica and Erica, good morning to you. Yes, we're here on 4th Street Live, and that story of last night, the real story is just how much more violent and destructive it was compared to that first night of protesting. Just take a look. This is the Chipotle on 4th Street. You can see how smashed out the window is completely gone. And Davis, our photojournalist, is showing you just the litter of glass all over this sidewalk. This is what we're seeing all over downtown. There was even this trash can over here that was still, you can see it's still smoldering this morning. It was set on fire. This is hours after that protest. It's just been absolutely devastating to see what things look like. We've been talking to some of the people out here and even still seeing looters here on 4th Street. The sun hadn't even gone down before things started to turn a little bit more violent than they were when it first started as a peaceful protest. And what started out peaceful quickly got out of hand. As we mentioned, even tonight, as early as 4:30 a.m., we were still seeing people breaking in. We've even looked at the T-Mobile, and it's completely smashed out. A lot of the phones, I would say almost all of the phones, are stolen out of the drawers over there, and we've seen many people driving around to take video this morning. Some people were there to try to send a peaceful message at last night's protest, specifically in honor of Breonna Taylor and some of the other victims, Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd, but some others jumped on cars, they looted stores, and threw objects at police. We talked to one man who said he was tired of living in fear.
We are out here for a purpose. We are tired of dying. We are tired of being passive. And it's a fight at this point. Yes, it is a fight at this point. And if we got to fight with peace right now, so be it. But if there has to be violence, that's what needs to be. And I'm not saying that I'm radical. I'm not. But at the same time, they got to understand, just like we got to understand, that if we don't come together and fight, we're going to die on our backs. And I'm not going to down my back.
And we are also seeing a lot of graffiti. That's why we're choosing where we are very carefully. But again, the damage out here looking a lot like this. Some people that we spoke with this morning were saying it looks like worse than a tornado out here. And it definitely is some heartbreaking things. You can hear that people are still out here. We apologize for any language that may air as well. Now, stick with us all morning. We're going to show you some other parts of downtown as we get a grip on the surveying the damage. But for now, I'll toss things back to you.
All right, Marvis, thank you so much for that. Let's check in now with our Natalie Grice. She is live at 4th Street Live. And Natalie, police had a really different tactic last night compared to what they did Thursday evening.
Good morning. Now, that police presence out here last night was much larger and also much more aggressive in terms of previous protests Thursday night. Now, rather than trying to keep the protesters all contained to one area, police instead were trying to actively break up and scatter the protesters. That led to some smaller splinter groups in different parts of downtown and the Highlands, but it also kept any one large group from getting too large. Now, around 1 this morning, Mayor Greg Fisher talked about how the police handled themselves.
My thanks go to the LMPD officers on duty tonight, who again showed discipline and restraint and professionalism under extremely volatile circumstances. And I also want to thank the law enforcement who came in to assist from other agencies.
Now, that other agency that Mayor Fisher was referring to was Kentucky State Police, who was out here in full riot gear last night. Reporting live downtown, I'm Natalie Grice, WLKY News.
Thanks so much, Natalie. Protesters and rioters also hit the Highlands last night. Here's a look. It stretched from Mid-City Mall all the way down past Eastern Parkway. The streets packed out and blocked due to those protesters. There was also damage and looting in the area.
Yeah, and those protests are not just happening here in Louisville, but really across the nation. They were sparked by the recent killings of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd in Minneapolis. In Atlanta, Georgia, protesters wreaked havoc on the city.